Hey y'all, it's Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my May wrap-up. We are going to be here very briefly. I am respecting your time this month. May sucked. If you've watched any one of my vlogs for the month of May, you will know that May sucked and I am so ready to put it all behind me and just move forward. Please disregard the background, any screaming, crying, anything you may hear. The kittens are in here. Little Peanut Brittle and Orange Julius are running around. This is the first sit-down video I filmed with them being in this space, so just forgive anything that may occur. I was heavily fighting a slump in the month of May. Ultimately, I failed. I am in like full-on slump mode for June, but in May, I really tried to fight the slump. I was able to get through 15 books, 10 of them being rereads. So do with that what you will. We're just going to hop right in. This is going to be super quick. We're just going to pull the band-aid right off. For the last 2 Harry Potter books, I did a reread so I could be fresh going into Manacled. Thank God that will be the last time I say that. I'm so tired of saying that. The next thing I read was Someone You Can Build a Nest In. I gave this 2 stars. I was so intrigued by the synopsis because it was really giving walking practice vibes. And honestly, long story short, just read Walking Practice. It's done way better. The writing is way better. This book is written by a man, so it was very much giving gay for the sake of being gay. I feel like the characters weren't fleshed out at all. I feel like you could have taken the supposed romance out of it completely and you would have gotten the same exact story. There was a couple of good lines like throughout, but the rest of it is a big nope. Oh, look at how cute he is. He loves to hit. Look at him. I love him. Oh boy. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. He's so mad at me. Another 2-star read is Knock Knock Open Wide. I read this on my Kindle. I got this as a library book and I hated the writing style like immediately. Hi, baby. Scared the fuck out of Orange. But I kept reading because I wanted to know what was in the fucking box. Like, that was the only thing keeping me reading. I didn't care about either timeline. I didn't really care what was going on. And by the time I got to the end, it wasn't worth it. I should have just DNF'd. I also read Fragile Animals. This was the e-arc I had been reading for much too long. And it was fine. I gave it 3 stars. I feel like it could have been a higher rating if it didn't take me so long to read it. And that has nothing, again, that's nothing to do with the book. The book is fine. It just finally finished it. 3 stars. I liked how they did the vampire trope in this one. I felt like it wasn't like the forefront focus, and it was also kind of ambiguous, which I liked, which honestly is not something that happens. I typically don't like ambiguity, and I thought that it was fascinating just reading about Noelle's struggle with her religion. I found that really interesting, and also someone who doesn't really like a lot of religion in books. That's typically not something I gravitate towards. I felt like it was done well here. Also, I need to state that the way that her name is spelled is the only correct way to spell Noelle. I read My Husband this month. I gave this 4 stars. I loved this book so fucking much. I picked this up on Beeb's recommendation. I probably wouldn't have picked this up on my own. She was like, oh, hey, I've heard good things about this. Try and read it. So I got it through the library and read it. Liked it so much I went out and got a physical copy. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I loved every second of it. I thought it was so great. I was not anticipating that epilogue at all. That was really like the cherry on top. I feel like if I read this again, I would probably give it a 5. I feel like it's one of those reads where it would be better the second time around. Very much unhinged, very much delirious, ridiculous, very niche book, I would say. So I guess it's no surprise that I liked it as much as I did. My uncle is actually in France right now, and I have him tracking down a French copy of this because this is translated from French. So let's all cross our fingers that my Uncle Craig can find a French copy for me. I reread the entire Well Met series. I love this series. This is my 3rd reread, but my 4th time reading Well Matched. Well Matched is my favorite. So it's Well Matched, Well Met, Well Traveled, and Well Played. That is the only correct ordering. I will fight you on it. But there's just something about these series. I mean, it's just a basic run-of-the-mill Renaissance small town romance. Wellnet was one of the first romance books I've ever read, so I think I have that kind of nostalgia for it because it was like the first one, and I just really enjoyed it, and I like coming back to it over and over again. I want to annotate these someday. I don't know when that will be. Beebs actually wrote in this one for me because it was a Christmas gift one year. So I also reread the entire Ember in the Ashes series. I'm prepping for air in October. I am ready. I want it so bad. I read these on audio, which I had never done before. It took me a while to get into it because even though this is a YA fantasy series, like, it's dark and it just throws you right in. Within the first hour of the audiobook, the main character's grandparents are murdered right in front of her, and a 10-year-old boy gets whipped to death. So, like, please don't go into this series lightly. Saba Tahir does not care about your feelings at all. She will break your heart over and over again. These were all 4-star reads for me. Book 3, A Reaper at the Gates, is my personal favorite. There's just something about it. I love it. It's my favorite. And even going back, like, because I've read all of these twice now, all of my ratings stayed the same. These 3 were 4 stars. This one was a 5. There's just something about it. I just love it. I will say I can't stand Helene as a character, and that also translated into the audiobooks. I hate Helene. I think she sucks, but the only thing that gets me through it is I think that Saba Tahir hates her more. Helene truly suffers. She really goes through it. And for someone who doesn't like her, I'm just like, yeah, fuck her up, because I don't like her either. But damn, like, she really fucking goes through it. I feel like in every conversation she has with any kind of character, somebody is calling her an idiot. And, like, I am here for it. But I hate Helene, but Saba hates her more. So very good. I highly recommend this series. It just got re-released with, like, some 10-year anniversary covers, so please pick it up if you haven't. And last but not least, along with every other girly on the internet, I read Funny Story by Emily Henry. I gave this 4 stars. I was obsessed with the beginning. Like, the first 50 pages, I was like, new all-time favorite book, 10 stars, got it. But it just, I don't know. It got less funny throughout the book. That's what was really pulling me in. It's not my favorite Emily Henry. I don't have a ranking of Emily Henry, just that Beach Read is at the top and everything else falls below. But I do think it's worth the read. I don't agree with it being like a 5-star, but that's just personal opinion. And that was it. That was all that I read in May. I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad it's done. June's wrap up will probably be even shorter because we're 9 days in and I've only read 1 book. Beebs wants me to wrap up the 1 book she read, but she doesn't want to talk about it. So she read this. She gave it 2 stars. She didn't like it. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know if you've read any of these books. If you're going to take any of my recommendations, let me know. And I will see you soon in a new one. Bye.